Hi, everybody. This is Erica from In the Company of Cards. If you're new, welcome. If you've been here before, welcome back. Thank you for all your comments on the last video. I've read them all. Boy, we are living in interesting times. So, hmm, so we know that this order to release the files unanimously passed the Senate last night. And we know that Maga Mike was disappointed. Now, why was he disappointed? He was disappointed because he had spoken to Senator Thune, who is uh, the Republican over there in charge, and that they had a long conversation. And MAGA Mike made it clear that what he wanted Thune to do was to slow walk the order, and that he wanted Thune to make sure that there were amendments to the order, which would have also slow walked things. And Thune, I mean, I guess on the phone kind of said, yeah, okay, gotcha, Mike. And then the thing went to the Senate and was unanimously passed with no amendments at all. And we know that MAGA Mike said he was disappointed. Well, I mean, I just am curious. First, I'd like to know, why is MAGA Mike so disappointed? I mean, what's it to him personally? Why is he so disappointed? It passed in the House unanimously except for one vote. That was not MAGA Mike's vote. MAGA Mike voted to pass the order. So why is he disappointed that the Senate just took care of business that same day? So I want to look at, I'm just going to ask the cards. I'm not going to even pull a clarifier or let Spirit pick all the cards. Why is MAGA Mike so disappointed? Okay, let's see. Why is MAGA Mike so disappointed that the Senate did the thing that the House did? Okay, so we have the star, the fish, the rider, the letter, the lily. I think MAGA Mike was probably promised something. He had the hope of something that had been promised to him, funding, probably for a campaign or for his district or whatever it was, that he was given that message that if he could manage to slow walk the votes, he certainly slow walked the vote for 50 days by refusing to gavel the House into session and refusing to swear in Adelita Grijalva for 50 days. So he did his part to slow walk, but I think he was supposed to slow walk it the whole way, meaning get Thune in the Senate to slow walk it. And I think that he thought if he did the felon's bidding, everything would be fine for him in the future, that his future would be secure because he would have the gratitude of a grateful felon. So I think that's what that's about. Now, I have read on Pam Bondi many times on just her trajectory, her future, and every time I have read to date, I have seen her skating by, you know, um, not paying any kind of penalty for her bad behavior. Now, why am I bringing Pam Bondi up? Bondi up because this is going to be the next step, right? So now the thing is through the House, it's through the Senate, it's on the felon's desk. I don't know if he signed it or not tonight, but that's the next step. All indications are that he's going to sign it. And we also know that all indications are that Pam Bondi is going to say, it passed the House, it passed the Senate, the president signed it. Oh, but wait a minute. Hold the phone. The files cannot be disseminated because we have ongoing investigations. These, remember, are the ongoing investigations called by the felon and initiated by Bondi on Democrats who supposedly are in the files, which I'm sure they are in the files. I mean, I don't think that I don't think that the Democrats are exempt from blame in this endeavor of Epstein's. So we know that that's the game, and that also part of the game is that the documents will be redacted, so that in the end, all we end up seeing is Democrats' names, and that the felon, we already know that his name has been scrubbed from everything. But we also know that nobody's an idiot, right? So Thomas Massie, the Republican who has been leading the charge to get these files released, has said Pam Bondi has 30 days to cough everything up. If she doesn't cough everything up, uh, I will I will go to the House floor and I will read the names of all of Epstein's clients. We also know too that there is an oversight committee, right? I mean, on the one hand, there's the dissemination of these files to the public, but regardless of this 30-day period, uh, and regardless if she says at the end of the 30 days, oh, wish we could, but we can't, the law says, okay, she can get away with not showing them to the public. But what she cannot do is get away with showing them to the oversight committee. They have to be shown everything regardless. If she does not give everything to the oversight committee in the next 30 days, she faces a legal jeopardy. So she's run interference for the felon at every turn, uh, her whole career since she was in Florida. She will continue to do that. And so I want to know, will she give the files to the oversight committee? We already know she's not going to disseminate them to the public. We know she's going to have the excuse for that. But will she give the files to the oversight committee? Let's let Spirit pick all the cards, and hopefully I can. No, you know what? Yeah, let's let Spirit pick all the cards. Will Pam Bondi turn over the files to the oversight committee, which she is required to do, come hell or high water, no matter what, in 30 days? Okay, so we have the fish, the heart, the scythe, the house, and the star. Remember, she pins her hopes on um, the beneficence of the felon in the White House. She hopes that the guy in the White House will protect her um, and reward her. This is money. This is his undying affection and love. So what she will do is, let me make sure that I know what that scythe is before I actually do it. Yeah. I think that she will give them what they ask for, except I feel like these documents will be all chopped up and so redacted that they're essentially useless because she's sly. She's going the nth degree to the farthest reaches to protect him because she thinks that she can get away with it and that her reputation will be okay, that he will reward her, that if she just stays the course and does what he wants. But these files will be chopped up. That, by the way, is against the law. The oversight committee has to be given everything, unredacted everything. That is not what she will give them. So what I'd also like to know is what will happen to her? what is her future looking like? I'm going to use the older woman for her. She's 60 years old, but she has drunk that Trump Kool-Aid so that they all look like the picture of Dorian Gray. Like they look a lot better than they actually are in their ugly, tainted, co-opted, corrupt souls. So I'm going to use the older woman because, she's 60 years old. What will be her fate? Again, every time I've looked at her before, uh, her fate has not been a problem. Granted, maybe she ends up in Qatar, but she'll make a lot of money and live happily ever after. That's what I have seen. But I don't know. I mean, if you even if you do the felon's bidding, if you fail, well, he will have no use for you. So what does Pam Bondi's future hold? No, okay, there she is, the older woman. Okay, so we have the young women who stand for the Epstein victims, of course. We have the Fox, we have Bondi, we have the Scales, and we have the Site. I that think she gets fired. That's what I think. Either she gets fired, well, not even either. I think she gets fired, and I also think that she will face now legal consequences for giving the the oversight committee adulterated files. That's what I think. Let's look a little bit further with some clarifiers. So her, yeah, yeah, okay. So, here she is in the center. By hook or by crook, for many, many years, she has done the bidding of the guy in the White House. And who would that be? The felon. She is his female dog, entertainment purposes only. And we have the scales as the fourth card. Clarifiers are the rider, clover, and the star. Now, again, she really has hoped that she would come out of this smelling like a rose, make a lot of money, have a lot of power and influence once he's gone and out of office, that she's going to be living large. That's what she thinks. But I think this is a message to us that you know, what's done in the dark will come to the light, and that justice, this is my card for justice, will prevail. That's the message. And I think quick, fast, and in a hurry, her future will be determined. But let's look and see what her future is. I think that she'll be fired. The next card is the stork. That's positive change for us, because the next cards are the snake and the whip. I think she will be in legal hot water. So, you know how I would say that time is mutable and that people have free will? She has decided to stay with him the length of the duration of this whole thing, uh, making herself ultimately into a criminal, aiding and abetting crime. Epstein's crime, really. And I think she's going to face a lot of trouble, a lot of difficulty, and I don't think she will swan off into the sunset unscathed. Mm-mm. I think she'll be fired, and I think she will also face legal consequences once she is no longer um, head of the DOJ. Once we've had midterm elections, once we've had a new presidential election in 2028. She better get her ticket now for Qatar while she still has some money in the bank, because I think she will be held to account. I'm delighted to see that because I have not seen that in the past. But I think her actions are just so egregiously brazen that I think she will, I think he'll fire her because she will not succeed in keeping everything quiet. And I think she will face legal consequences for sure. Um, okay. There's a lot of talk about Epstein's death. I mean, and there was before, right? He's been dead for like 6 years or so. Uh, and the buzz is getting louder and louder and louder that he was killed by an inmate who was specifically ferried in for that particular uh, job, we'll just say. And I would like to know whether the felon had anything to do with Epstein's death. And I'm going to let Spirit pick all the cards this time. Uh, Remember that these two were very dangerous to each other because they each knew each other's business. And I think that there's a lot about the felon that we don't know that Epstein could have spilled. And so I would like to know, was the felon, I'm just going to say, aware in advance at the very least? I'm not going to say, did he give the order? Because I think there were probably a lot of people who had a vested interest in Epstein's death. But I want to know, did he know in advance, know and approve of Epstein's murder? Okay, we're going to let Spirit pick all the cards. Did the felon know and what did the felon know in advance about Epstein's death? So I feel like I've looked at this before, but now that it's starting to bubble up again, I thought it would be worth another look, kind of like Pam Bondi, whom I saw skating before, and now I don't see her skating at all. Um, so we have the rider, the cross, the woman, the birds, Clover. I think that he did know about it in advance. He got word, probably not too much before it actually happened, because this is kind of a quick card. So he may have learned about it, you know, days beforehand, not months, but probably days, that that this was going to happen. This is a card of pain and suffering. And I mean, I'm sure he suffered a little bit because, he was choked to death. Um, I think that the hit on him was ordered because of the whole, what he knew about the felon and girls and children, and what he knew about other important people, because I think this was, and I remember saying this before, so this is still what I see. I feel like it was by almost, you could call it committee, death by committee. I think there were people who um, were in touch with each other, important people who made the decision, maybe they voted on it, that this would be done. And I think the felon knew. Yes, I do. And it's interesting that, well, as I say, it's starting to bubble up again. I think we will hear more as time goes on from people who were involved, maybe people at the jail who knew certain things. Um, but yeah, I think so, a prisoner was ferried in for the purpose of committing murder. And I think the felon knew about it. Entertainment purposes only, and allegedly. Okay. Maga, as you have seen, is starting to really turn on the felon in a big way. Maga is kind of a broad tent, comprising lots and lots of people, um, some more unsavory than others. But there is starting to be noise that is pretty loud, um, that is not complimentary, we'll say, of the felon. So people are looking past him at what's next. Um, will the felon, you know, we all want the ultimate, you know what I mean? But short of the ultimate, I am absolutely perfectly content to have him continue to walk the earth as a pariah. I, I, I'm good with that. I think that I hope that he will come to know how despised he is, and I hope he will come to be despised by the very people that he took in. Um, so let's just look at him and just see what we get, and then that'll be it for today. But I mean, the noose is tightening. Okay. So I'm going to use the older man for the felon, and I just want to know what his fate will be. I mean, I don't know if I'll get how definitive an answer I'll get, but we'll see. Okay. So we have the fish, we have the heart, we have the felon, we have the birds, and we have the sun. So, this is about, I'm going to say, circulation, if we're talking physical stuff, circulation issues and inflammation stuff. That's what these cards stand for. Also, though, um, the fish is the card for emotion. But at any rate, here is his heart, his anatomical heart, which we know has issues. Probably should pull some cards on that. In fact, let me do that. Okay, so on the heart, I pulled the bear, the house, and the younger man. So, I think that he has loved being the bully that he is, having the power that he's had, being the narcissist that he is. I think that he longs for the good old days when he was young and virile or whatever. I mean, he does have 5 kids. Um, Here he is. And again, we've got the woman card, mice, and key. I think that women will be his undoing. You know, they will be the key to his undoing. I think he's really, really, really worried. I mean, I think there are things in those files that, I mean, that we probably cannot even imagine how gross he is. I mean, even Epstein said he was the most, depraved person he's ever met. And that is quite some declaration from somebody like Epstein. Am I right? This is the crowd. Think of it as MAGA. Think of it as the Republicans. Think of this as all of us. But I think that MAGA will cause him to sink and feel like he's on an island all alone. So again, if we can't have option one, we all know what option one is. Option two is that he is alone and um, sunk, and that he knows it. So his actions are burying him. And then we have the sun, and you know how I always say that the sun, it's a great card, but the thing to bear in mind about the sun is that it's also light and heat, and light and heat will continue to be on this whole Epstein thing. And the last two cards, clarifiers, are the coffin and the mountain. In the end, I think that this Epstein situation will be his undoing. And I also think it will be the death of him. I really do. But not before he knows how low he has fallen in the estimation of the world, but more to the point, MAGA. MAGA will hate him. I have the person from history that keeps coming to mind and does now, even in this moment, is the Italian um, Mussolini, who, strutted his stuff and had his chin out and thought he was all that, and ended up being hanged next to his mistress upside down, um, in ignominy and shame. I think Trump will feel the shame um, of being turned against by his supporters. I think we will at least get that much satisfaction. I also think in the end it will be the physical undoing of him. I don't think his heart can stand um, that kind of narcissistic injury. I think that's it for today. Tomorrow I will be writing on Substack. I think I'm gonna, I mean, don't hold me to it, but I think I'm gonna try and schedule a live for my members at the town hall level for Friday. I haven't picked a time yet, but you'll get notified as soon as I um, decide. Those of you who are in that level will get notification of that. But I'm thinking I'm going to do it Friday. So gear up your questions for me, and I'll be with you for an hour, and we can chat, and I can use the cards, or we can chat without the cards, whatever you'd like. But that'll be on Friday for town hall members. All right, you guys have a great day. I don't even know what today is. What's today? Wednesday, middle of the week, hump day. Have a great Wednesday, and I'll see you on Substack tomorrow if you're over there, and I will see you Thursday otherwise. Okay, take care.